So, it's official. We are going to have an election this April, which kind of predictable. Uh, Even though the way Canadian politics has always worked is whoever the leader of the governing party is the prime minister. For some reason, a few people just could not wrap their heads around the idea that, hey, if the prime minister steps down, the ruling party chooses the next prime minister. Big shock. But anyway, whatever. A couple things kind of stood out to me, though, and not with regards to the prime minister. What stood out to me, actually, was how reporters seemed surprised. Like they were trying to word it as, oh, here's a nice change, but you could almost hear the wow in the way they were saying it, that Poilievre was amiable towards reporters and how he reacted positively to being questioned. So, first off, to Pierre Poilievre, if you don't like being questioned, get used to it, bucko, because if you do become the next prime minister, you're going to be questioned. You're going to be judged. Things you do are going to be broken down and analyzed and questioned and criticized. So if you can't handle that, you don't have what it takes to be a political leader. That said, the fact that he doesn't like to be questioned, it kind of completes a picture for me. Because so far we've had the campaign factors. Okay? Liberals evil. And then housing and jobs. Economic stimulation. And finally, there's criminals around every corner, and only we can protect you. And now, doesn't like to be questioned. It's almost like he learned his entire leadership technique and how he does things from a former prime minister, namely Stephen Harper, who didn't like to be questioned, harped on and on about liberals evil and economic stimulation and criminals everywhere. Only the conservatives can protect us. And that was it. I mean, that is it in a nutshell. That's their entire platform. How in the world are they going to provide any kind of comprehensive leadership when that's basically their entire platform? It's the exact same thing Harper did. And keep in mind, Harper is the prime minister who was so universally hated that groups across Canada worked together to get rid of him. I don't know if anyone else remembers this, but I distinctly remember groups putting up websites saying, don't vote for who you want. Vote for who is most likely to beat the conservative in your area. And there were websites up where you could look at analysis, and experts were studying polls and looking at each district, and you could look up your district and see, okay, this is the one who's most likely to beat the conservative and get us that much closer to getting rid of Harper. Literally one of the most hated, if not the most hated, prime minister in history. And Poilievre is just like him, which shouldn't surprise us. He was a minister in Harper's cabinet. The conservatives talk about that like it's a good thing. Well, it's not. It is a horrible thing to have on his political resume because, again, he was hated. And he was hated for good reason. Honestly, I still don't get how people aren't picking up on this. Same thing. Liberals evil. Economic crisis. Criminals everywhere. And that's it. What kind of leader is that? What about the individuals who need assistance? What about working together with provinces? Where's that initiative? We actually heard he was in Nunavut, didn't once speak with the premier or the local Indigenous leaders. If he isn't willing to speak to the local leadership and work with the local leadership, what good is he? Honestly. It's time to wake up and realize Poilievre is just Harper with another face.